today we're playing more Great Satanic Chronicles. We're going to be continuing the memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro case. I had to remember that there. And yeah, this will be a fun case. Yeah, okay. I have two kind of quick story times to talk about. And where do I need to go? I need to get a little bit of that. Favorite. Okay, I have a few quick story times. First, I need to sneeze. God, I'm meant to make an iron farm on Ozwork, so whenever I next stream on Ozwork, I'll show you the design and the tutorial that I followed along. So whenever I stream on there, I'll show you it. Second of all, okay. Okay, so it was yesterday. For a little bit of context, if you guys don't use Instagram a whole lot, the stories last for 24 hours. So my story from Friday saying oh hey, I'm live, was still up by midday Saturday, because I posted it 8:30 at night. And so yesterday, I think it was what time was it? I need to get up Instagram. One of my aunts messaged me yesterday saying, hey, did you put this on your story? And I was like, and when you did you put this on a story? And at the time it didn't show what story she was replying to, but now that I've gone through the messages, it comes up as me saying, hey, I'm live. I'm live announcement, but at the time it didn't show up which story she had replied to. So I say, I don't think so. And she goes, me with a baby, and I'm like, no, I haven't posted any pictures of my family or my family members on my Instagram story in probably a few years, if at all. So this was weird. And she sends me a screenshot, and she's saying oh, I keep seeing it on people's stories, and she sends me a screenshot, and it shows up in the screenshot, it shows my username, and it is showing oh, this picture of with her with a baby on my story. And then but when I went back onto that story, and I had only posted one story on Friday. I don't post two Instagram stories. The only time I will post it on Instagram stories is to post the occasional meme or whatever, or to post stream announcements. Most of my stories are stream announcements. So the only story that was up at that time was me announcing that I'm live. So I sent her a screenshot and I sent her a screenshot of what I saw, which was my live announcement, and we were just this is weird. And she reset her password and everything, so it might have just been a glitch, but also I don't know. I'm gonna look on her Instagram actually to see if she's sorted it, but I don't think she has, which is weird. It's weird that she's seeing a different thing from what I'm seeing, and I was like, oh, maybe it's a glitch with my account then. So I went over onto my private account to go look at the story to see, oh, was it actually my live announcement, or was it this random picture of my aunt? And it was my stream announcement. I went on my private account, looked at my story on my public main account, and it was the stream announcement. So I think it was something wrong with her account, which I don't know. That was weird. See, I don't know what happened with that. Just weird. It was weird. Okay, so I was in work this morning, and I only do 4-hour shifts, and I was in from 9:30 till So basically, I was doing the opening shift. I was in there 9:30 till 1:30, and it gets to, I think it's like 1:27 at this point, and I see a few customers like in the it was 1:27, and I was like in the middle of serving a customer, and then there was one more customer in the line, and I was like, okay, I might as well serve this customer because it'll only take a couple of minutes, and then go and clock out and go get food. Because usually what I'll do is I do like last little bits, like maybe serving a customer or putting like one last thing away, and then go clock out and then go get food from Home Bargains, which is like right next to which is right next to my shop, which is right next to the Peacocks I work out. So I finish off serving this customer, and then the last customer like in the line comes up to me, and she's like, hey, I want to exchange these two things for like a different size, which is like normal things you would expect, which is like normal. So I'm like, okay. So I start doing the process of the exchange, and at the start of an exchange is like the same as a return. She had like given me like a bag of stuff, so I assume that either she had the stuff that she was wanted to get either in the bag or was just holding it and I just didn't notice it, or just put it like maybe like in front of my register, in front of my till. So I scan the receipt, do all the things you need to do. I took the things off. I did all the things. And she doesn't have the things she wants to exchange for. So she's like, oh, can I go and get the things I want to get? Get the things I want to switch these two items for. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I was like, okay, maybe it was like, that's a little annoying, but maybe she already knew what she was getting. Maybe she already knew. She took like 5 minutes trying to get the items she wanted to exchange it for. And we only had, what I didn't know at the time is that when she was going getting them, is that we only had one of these items left. She comes back to the till after like a few minutes. I think it was like just after past at this point. So she comes over and she says, oh, do you only have this one in stock? Do you not have any in the bag? And I go, I don't think so, because I've always been told, I was told when I first started with my manager that everything we have out is all the sizes we have. So I'm just like, oh, I don't think so. And my coworker says, oh yeah, that's the last one we have. Because she went to come to the till to like sort out receipts or tag something or do something with or get a hanger or something. So she, this customer comes and puts the item that last thing on the till, and she's like, oh, I'm going to get another thing, because I think she wanted to do a direct exchange. So she was like, oh, I'm gonna get so she had only gotten like the last like item on the shelf, and she was gonna go get a different item that was like for a similar price. So I scan that item into the till like normal, like as she was gonna buy it. And I'm there waiting for like another like 5 minutes. It was 37 minutes past at this point. I remember it was like 37 minutes past at this point. My shift ended like 7 minutes ago, and I had to go clock out. So, and I was like, I have to wait here. And I was like, why is she taking so long? Or why is she doing this so weirdly? Why is she doing this transaction so weirdly? Because usually, when customers want to exchange something, they'll bring the items they're returning into the store, and then they'll go and find the items they want to exchange, want to buy, and then they'll come to the till. But she bring the items in, bring the returning items in, came to the till, and then went to go get the items she was gonna get. So, which is why? Because the thing is, an exchange only takes like a couple of minutes, but you're prolonging this transaction by like an extra like 10 minutes than it needs to be. Like it would have taken me like max 5 minutes to this exchange, like less than 5 minutes, because an exchange is like, oh, you'll put the return, you'll scan scan the receipt, hello Ace, hello, welcome on in, how are you doing? Tata, hello, Tata with the raid, and I fixed my raid, finally. I fixed my raid a little earlier. Welcome on in. I'm okay, how are you? I'm good, Ace. Welcome on in, Tata. Welcome on in. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm just telling a story about a customer that did, and that was being weird, that did an exchange weirdly at work. Tata Raid! Hello, Cat Dad. Hello, how you doing? Hello, just had a little story from work this morning before I actually get into the great Psssttt case I'm doing. If quite a few of you do not know. Hello, Vaporeon. Hello, Fatima. Hello, welcome on in, how you doing? Yeah, so if quite a few of you do not know me, I'm Poppy. I am a variety streamer who is currently on an Psssttt grind. I'm currently playing through Great Psssttt Chronicles and the Apollo Justice trilogy, and I have a few other games I also play, like Minecraft and The Sims mainly at the moment, as well as Sticky Business, and yeah, we're just gonna I'm not very good at doing this promotion stuff. I'm well, Poppy. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I might as well start retelling the story again. So I was at work this morning, and I was supposed to finish my shift at 1:30. Right? I have a part-time job, so I'm only on 4-hour shifts. And I was like, okay, I'll finish off serving this customer, and I was like just in the middle of like serving a customer, so I was like, okay, I'll finish off serving this customer, then I'll serve the next customer who was like the last customer in line, and then I'll go clock out and get food and get my lunch. So I'm like, I finish off serving that customer, and this other customer is like, hey, I'm here to do an exchange. I was like, okay. So I start, scanning in the items she wants to return, and she's like, hey, can I go get the items I want to get, like the items she's exchanging the returning items for? And I'm like, okay, which is a weird way to do that, because most people who, when they want to do an exchange, would get the items they want to get, to get the items they want to exchange the returning items for before coming to the till. So so I'm like slightly questioning her logic here. So anyways, I'd already scanned the returning items in, so I was like, and there was no one else in line, so I was like, okay, I'll just, I won't void this return just yet. Like, if then another customer came into line, I'll either use the other till, or I'll just void this return. But there was no need to at that moment. So she went and got, and she wanted to exchange the returning items for like the same items in a different size. But we had only one left in the size she wanted. So she like had come to the till saying, like, asking like, hey, do you have any more in stock? And we were like, oh no, we don't have any more of these in stock in that size. So she puts this item she's getting on my till, and I scan it in, and she then is like, hey, can I just go get something else? I'm guessing she just wanted to do a direct exchange. Like, I'm guessing she just wanted to do a direct exchange. Like, she just wanted to spend up all the money she would have gotten on the refund. So she goes looking, and I am stood there, like, and at this point when she goes gets the second item, it is like I think it must be like 35 past. I should have gone like 5 minutes ago at that point. Like, so I'm just stood there and waiting for her. And I think at this point, another customer actually did come into line. So I'm like, you know, I might as well just, no one else is at the till. I'll go and use the other till. So I go on, log on. Our system allows us to log on to 2 separate tills at the same time. So I go log on to the other till, serve this customer, and the customer I was originally serving was like not back yet. She came back like a little bit late, like slightly later, like a few seconds after I'd finished serving the second customer. So like, I'm sorry, I'm just like. So she was taking a while, and no, she came back a few minutes actually. She came back maybe 2 minutes actually, after I'd already finished serving the second customer, and like I think right before she came back, right before like this like the original customer, the exchange customer was, was like coming back, like just before she came back. One of my co-workers, I think there was only supposed to be 3 of us in that day, and one who was on like a 9 to 5, and then one of my other co-workers who literally was starting like right as I was finishing. Like she was starting at 1:30, and I left at 1:30. I think she was doing like a 1:30 till like 5, or like a 1:30 to 6, and then maybe closing by herself. I don't know. I don't remember. So my coworker who had started at 9, who I'd also started at 9, was like, "Hey, do you want me to finish this off?" Because again, she was until 5. So, and I was supposed to have left like 7 minutes ago, and I was like, yes, please, yes. So I left, and right as I was heading to the staff room, to like heading to the staff room to get my stuff, to get my phone and my coat, because I don't have, on my work uniform, I do not have pockets, like, at all. So, like, I leave my phone in the staff room. Actually, and like, it is annoying slightly if I do need my phone. Because on Friday, I did not need my phone. Because I was working with this one guy I work with. And we were both in on, no, we weren't working on Friday. That's pretty inconsiderate of her to take so long, especially when you're about to leave. Okay, to her credit, like, she didn't know that I was finishing at 1:30. But also, again, most people would come into the store and grab the stuff they want to exchange their returning items for before coming to the till. And then the exchange would have only taken, like, less than 5 minutes. Why do this? Why? What? That is like the most inconvenient way to do things. And I was telling my dad this because he was picking me up from work, and he was just like, customers are just annoying. And the thing is, most exchanges I do are like not the normal exchange where the customers will have both their returning items and the items that they want to buy, and then if there's a difference, they'll pay the difference. Like, for example, if they're they'll just tap their card and get whatever difference. Like, for example, if the original item that they're returning is £9, and then they're getting like for example, if they bought like a £9 vest top and they're returning it, but they want to get like an £11 normal top, they'll just pay the £2 difference. Or like, for example, if it was like the other way around, if they were getting an £11 top, if they were returning an £11 top and wanted to buy a £9 vest top, then I think at that point I would have to take like a few details for whatever reason, and then they'll tap the card and receive the £2. But like usually that's like less than 5 minutes. At this point, I had been serving her for 10 minutes, and I'd already served another customer on the other till before she came back. So it was just annoying. Like, thank you, Empress for the follow. Well, come on in. How you doing? But yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Me not having pockets. I keep forgetting I have that on my sound alerts. Hello, how you doing, Empress? How you doing? But yeah, me not having a phone, like a pocket in my work uniform is annoying. And for a little bit of context, like, this isn't just like, oh, work provided a uniform. This is like, I had to buy the uniform myself. I mean, I technically didn't buy it. I think like one of my parents did. Like, I think my mum did, or like my grandma did. I don't remember who bought it. So like, and like I chose pants that like didn't have pockets in them, and I chose a top that didn't have a pocket in it. So, and like on Friday, no, it wasn't Friday. It was Wednesday. It was Wednesday that I was last working. On Wednesday, so I was working with this other guy I work with, and we were working like the opening shift. We were working like 8:30 because on weekends we open later and we close earlier. On Sundays especially, but on weekdays we're open for longer. We open earlier, and you know the stores open later. So and he had to go on a call at like I think he had to go on a call at like 10:30. So I would have to be alone. And I thought I would have to be like alone by myself on the shop floor for an hour, because I thought I don't know why, but I thought his call would be an hour, but it wasn't. It was like 15 minutes. It was like a 15-minute call. And so he was like, hey, you have my number, go, just you can have your phone, you can go get your phone and just call me if you need me. So I had to carry my phone around, and it wasn't like, oh, I was on the tills like sorting out returns on serving customers for the entire time. I was like putting stock away and stuff, so I had to carry my phone around while putting stock out. And for a little bit more context, for the people who like did hear like the start of the stories I was telling, I work at Peacock's, which is a like large clothing chain store in England. I don't know if it's in the rest of the UK, but I know it's definitely in England. So it was just like very slightly inconvenient when I had to put clothes away. So yeah. So yeah, tales of someone who works in retail. Anyways, let's get into Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I'm gonna try and get through the second investigation and the first part of trial 2. At least, if we have time, I'll get through the second part of trial 3 done. You know what? The first part of trial 2. I'm looking at Strategy Wiki, which is like I use Strategy Wiki to try and gauge how long the like trials would be, and the first part of trial 2 doesn't seem too long. We only have 2 cross-examinations, same for the second part of trial 2, though I think the second part of trial 2 may be slightly longer, because we have like a bit of the aftermath, and we have to explain like how the crime of Shamspeare's poisoning really happened. So yeah, we have an investigation. We have an investigation to do first. So yeah, this doesn't seem it'll take too long, but we'll have to see. If it gets to like 11 my time and we still haven't started the second part of trial 2 yet, then what I'll do is why has touch first in my thing on my phone. But if it gets to like 11 and we haven't started trial the part 2 of trial 2, then we'll just do it tomorrow. So yeah. Okay, Naruhodo's legal consultancy. So we're back in 221 Baker Street, I think it's called. Why is everything missing? Ooh, we made it back in one piece. Just to be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh wait, I forgot. Like literally at the start of this, when on Friday, it like in this game, it will just automatically go over to the next part when you like the start of the next part after you save. It's not like a part of Justice where you can choose whether you want to move on to the next part or not. So I was so confused, but then I remembered that this takes place probably like a month or two after like this is like a flashback to a trial that happened like 1 or 2 months after the adventures of the Clouded Kokoro, which kind of in universe is like 4 months ago, before like current modern day. Like it happened, like this case happens like 4 months ago before the current. It's like 4 months ago, I guess. It's like 4 months ago, so this is like a flashback to then. So this these two, Susato and Ryunosuke, have been in England for like 6 months. When England like 6 months before Susato had to leave for Japan again. And I'm not explaining this very well, but yeah, Susato and Ryunosuke were in like both of them were in England for 6 months total. Ryunosuke is still in England. Susato went back to Japan after 6 months for some reason, and that we do not well know. Apparently her father was ill, but that wasn't actually the case. We'll find that out later. And I'm over-explaining. I do that. I over-explain and then it gets complicated. But yeah, basically, this is a flashback to just before they officially set up the legal consultancy in the attic of Herlock Sholmes's place. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There are so many carriages on the streets of London. You were very nearly flattened several times. Oh no, I didn't mean that. Yeah, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you. Oh, thank you. And now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for the court tomorrow. Yes, let's do that. Do you mean can find some new clues? Is everything alright? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it, that's all. That I'm here in England working as a lawyer, in the Old Bailey, no less. The Old Bailey is like probably England's most famous and like prestigious court, basically. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him, Kazuma, standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma, yeah. It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him. Yes, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I know that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us. I wonder why Kazuma-sama... I wonder why Kazuma couldn't or wouldn't get approval for for Ryunosuke to also study law in England. I mean, maybe because it's such a prestigious like program, like foreign education program that Kazuma undertook. Oh my god, I have this like thing, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like where my computer like at a set time will turn from using like blue lighting to like a more warm lighting, and I have it set to change at 8 o'clock. It's now 8:02 and it's like just shift, and I watched it shift and I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm looking at my OBS and I watched it shift and I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? But yeah, maybe it's because it's such a prestigious program that maybe Kazuma couldn't get Ryunosuke in. Cause, but I don't know. Thank you, Psssttt-san. Thank you. Okay, let's talk more with Kazuma. Not Kazuma. Susato. Let's talk more with Susato. It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand. I know. Not only that, but then finding out that he actually barefaced Gas Thief as well. I forgot who was Gas Thief. Who's Gas Thief again? People. Gas Thief would be... Oh wait, Shamsmith. He's Gas Thief. Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Soseki-san poisoning the tea. Careful of rephrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this, Mr. Shamsphere, than we yet know, I'm sure of it. Mr. Shamsphere certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first. What's become of him, actually? I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment. Oh, which one is that? I'm guessing it's the same one that Olive Green. I was at, let me see, yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's, or Bart's as Londoners call it. We know that place, don't we? Yeah, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital to which she was taken. Yes, after Soseki-san stabbed her in the back. Do be careful of your phrasing now, Hara-san. He didn't stab anyone. Perhaps we both owe Soseki-san an apology. Yeah! Don't you slender Soseki-san! Don't you slender Soseki? I keep immediately just saying Soseki-san. Hello, cat. Thanks for the hydrate, cat dad. Thanks for the hydrate. I talk so much. Yeah, I don't know why. The stream, I'm immediately just saying like Soseki-san when I normally just call him Soseki or Natsume. But yeah. Thank you, Blood for Food, for the follow. Welcome on in. How you doing? St. Bartholomew's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. What's next? So we know that Soseki-san took tea to the victim on the night in question, but as he isn't the culprit, then obviously. Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea. But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shams's body? Hello, welcome on in, Blood for Food. Welcome on in, dude. How are you doing? I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shams's room that will help solve the mystery. Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detectives have been over the place already, but it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think. And as we already know, from the amount of time I've played Ace Attorney, my name is probably familiar, but I need to look. Much love. Thank you for the look, dude. Thank you for the look. Welcome on in. But as we know from the amount of times, the amount of hours I have in Ace Attorney is unreal. From the amount of hours I have in Ace Attorney, the police tend to miss things. How many things do I have? How many hours do I have in total across? Thank you. Now survives for the follow. We're getting so many follows today. Thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. How you doing? Okay, I'm gonna calculate it. So far, according to Steam, I have 53.2 hours in the Greatest Ace Attorney Chronicles. That was just the first one. That was just the first one I had up. And then, hey Poppy, hope you have a great stream. Thank you for the alert knives. Welcome in. Thank you. And then I have 90.7 hours in the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy. And then, so far I have 43.2 hours in the Apollo Justice trilogy, which equals 187.1 hours. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of Ace Attorney. That is so much. That's so much. Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bar sub. Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we could ask him about it. Kazuma is so gay. The best friend I ever had. And a lawyer with such promise. It really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. Oh, he didn't have enough time to... Oh yeah, he didn't have enough time to probably apply for a Ryunosuke to come along to England with him, so he added him as a stowaway. As a stowaway? Yes, you can fit inside my trunk if your pillow was small enough, I'm sure. No. People did know eventually, though. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through that trial. That you really ought to go into law. Be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it. Believe me, I guarantee it. But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. You'll have to decide for yourself. But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world, the city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day what? Oh no. Never mind. I forgot about this conversation. I think they had it in, I can't remember. It was the adventures of... I can't remember the title of the case. It was the second case of the first Chronicles game, the first case of Adventures. And the second case of the first game, there's the second case of Greatest Attorney Adventures. Phoenix Wright was one game I enjoyed, and then loved the anime. I love the anime. I love it. I love the anime. I actually watched it like a year before I started playing the Phoenix Wright trilogy, and it is. I just adored it. I just adored the anime, and then like a year later, I saw that both Phoenix Wright and Chronicles were both on offer for like 50% off, and I was like, basically two for the price of one, because both are like 30 quid. So it was like, and both were on offer for like 15 quid. So I was like, you know what, two for the price of one, basically. So yeah. I don't remember the original point of why I was talking about the conversation between Naruhodo and Kazuma. Naruhodo-san? Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yeah, he's forever in my thoughts too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he so desperately wants to come to Great Britain to study, of course. Yeah, that's right, but... Yes? I do wonder if it's his true intentions like elsewhere sometimes. I don't know. The thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. What are true intentions? Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions? I mean, this. His katana? I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it on my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. Yeah. Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Karuma? That's right. It's a pride sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through me. Of course I will. Wherever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. What did he mean by something very important that I have to do? I'd hoped the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet I've not found a single clue. I see. I think that's it. That's it for all our dialogue options. I don't think we have to show it everything. Just gonna try and get these. Perhaps we should put this spade away for it somewhere. That's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? You're so right, Naruhodo-san. We mustn't quarrel over such trifles. On reflection then, I think I'll leave the spade where it is. Yes, I think that's for the best. We may need a shovel when we're working in the garden. We have a ladder here that I can't... that would have been so good as one of the step ladder conversations. But anyways, I think it's best we move... Let's move downstairs. Let's move downstairs. To show up this week. Oh, Runo and Susie, how are you back? Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Sometimes I just can't say words. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually, what is that foul smell? Haha, the Wanderer's returned at last. Where on earth have the pair of you been? They've been in court. Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case? Sasaki's? That was today, was it? I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure you think you did. Sholmes, you confuse me all the time. Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We managed to escape without a guilty verdict at least. Really? I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been so long. Is all of the Fanziques an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruhodo. Not quite why I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes. Whatever is that odor? Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed. That's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science. Huh? Oh dear. Alright, I'll buy it. What's he up to now? Sholmes? Sholmes, what? I'm sorry. Let's talk about Lord Vanzeeks first. I feel like I'm more curious about Vanzeeks. Lord Barak Vanzeeks. Yes, it's an interesting sobriquet that he has, isn't it? What the fuck does sobriquet mean? Aha, I didn't read what the rest he said. Sobriquet. A person's nickname. Oh, his nickname of being the Reaper of the Bailey. The Reaper of the Bailey, yeah. Once the legendary prosecutor even has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the court, Sooner or later, the hapless soul will vanish from the capital. E.g., such as McGill did. He literally died with evidence. But vanish how exactly? By falling under a passing carriage or drowning in the Thames, or succumbing to a sudden fever, or quite out of the blue, being set upon by a highwayman. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit, for the time being at least. That's not overly reassuring. If rumours are true though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Zeek's own hand. As it happens, Mr. Sato, that is quite impossible. Oh, why? Naturally, the man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper always had a cast iron alibi. Oh, really? And so his reign continued. But 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection, and really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again. Poor Bruno. I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky or incredibly unlikable. I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people. Yeah. Let's answer this one and then we'll talk about the foul smell. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese as well as Mr. Sato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Zeek seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese. Indeed, it is an interesting observation. Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes? Yeah, do you, Sholmes? You know something. It was about 10 years ago that Baron Van Zeek chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan. How? What the? Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes. What happened? I believe I've made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair. Oh, but... Come on, Sholmes. Just tell us. I need to know. The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course. I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe. Interesting. So, what is that indescribably foul smell? Well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? What is it? My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at a drop of tea. Oh my! There are some unscrupulous sorts, meaning the stalls along some of London's, I don't know why I said Japan's, less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high quality tea, but it is in fact merely dyed leaves of drop flavour. Well, that's certainly unsavoury behaviour. So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris! At the ready, Hurley. Let's add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens? It turns completely black. And what a foul odour it gives off. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes, the more foul the odour, the better the tea is. It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling. That's very ingenious, but what do you do with the black liquid now? Why, dispose of it, naturally. Surely you wouldn't let to drink it, would you? There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes. Yeah, you can't drink the tea afterwards. Hence why this chemical test has been a test, my dear madam. Right. The point is, we are entering a new era of science, and the world of criminal investigation also. Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times. They are indeed. They are very much indeed. I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Sherlock Holmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative techniques is based. This little t indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. Science. So, your T test. Is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality. Not a huge number of cases then. Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Not yet accepted in our courts as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels here. I hadn't even heard of them until recently, which is partially why I undertake research in the field myself, of course. Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes? There are others in that field already. I abhor the company of inferior minds. No, what I'm researching is skin prints. Skin prints? A nomenclature of my own design, as is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation. Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes, as long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black. So I'm guessing it detects all types of prints, not just fingerprints, and maybe skin cells as well, which would be pretty amazing. And I didn't see what he said. I didn't want to see what he said. But yeah, if it's like, I assume it's just also fingerprints. I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed. Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues. That's the spirit, Bruno. See you later. Yes, until later. No, Mr. Sholmes. We're thinking you'd come with us. You are? Yes, of course. You said just a moment ago. You said we'd witness your forensic talents in action. Ah, yes. I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later, in all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might. Your commitment astounds me. Ooh, added 5 minutes, guys. Added 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival. Bye-bye, Bruno. Bye-bye, Susie. Aw, Iris is so cute. Okay, I guess. Okay, somebody put. I'm guessing. Yeah, crime scene. Which would be, you know. I love this. I love this little scroll down menu. And the little noises it makes when you go scrolling down. I love it. Okay, Sham space room. Hey up, Gregson. Hey up. Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson. Always enjoying a nice fish and chips. What you doing here? Well, we were open to having another look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh yeah, one other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? Did you see it? Guess they did from the bricks there. Yeah, we found it alright. And there's a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. It's with the identification section at the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today. That's wonderful news, thank you. What, Gregson? What? Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing, forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything here. Hello. I'm not even that surprised. What? I'm not even that surprised anymore. I'm just confused. What is he doing? Man. Look, Gregson, he was just stood there just being like, yeah, I can't be asked. I can't be asked with these three. And then Herlock, he's just... Why are you like this? Why are you like this? Why is he like this? Okay. We have Gregson Herlock to talk to. Who should we talk to first, guys? Who should we talk to first? Herlock or Gregson? I think I'm going to talk to hello first. Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there? What question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene? Oi! What are you doing now, Sholmes? What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems. Is that a time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talents in action as you promised? With the greatest pleasure, my dear madam. What's all this? All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. Herlock Sholmes' his sensational skin print seeker gun. Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim. A sample from Mr. Shamspeare's cup. Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this, a refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Hey, try one! Ooh. There, now spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed. Spray? I don't do that exactly. A little press and space on the area you're interested in is all that's required, like this. What's all that stuff? It's like fog. A suspension of the chemical indicator is in a pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover a large area. That was another invention I discovered incidentally while I was developing this idea. As you do. Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night question. Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. Okay. Oh, there's a ton of handprints here. This is normal handprint stuff, you know. On the kettle, on the laundry. Wait, is that in here? Not on the... The ad is starting soon, by the way. So, I'm going to continue doing this until it says the ad has actually started. Huh. There's a ton of prints over here. Look, there are dozens of handprints here. So there are a great many indeed. So much so that it's hard to make out any individual print, in fact. After the ad has started. The ad has started. It has started. Yes, stretch. Jesus Christ. I'm working tomorrow in the afternoon and I actually cannot be bothered, honestly. Because it's bank holiday on Monday as well, and so it's going to be dead busy, but, you know. More money, I guess. I still haven't recorded even the last two achievements of the haunted house, so I should do that. I should do that at some point. Get those two uploaded, recorded and uploaded. I might record those and upload those for next Friday. So yeah, and then just do the haunted house compilation. After that, hello, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I sensed his children down my spine. Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired the picture. Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene after all. And plus, the hand would stay usually in one place, but it's all scattered all over. Rather wishing to state the obvious, you wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel. Oh, very true, Mrs. Sato. It's a bit of a mystery then. Yeah, a bit of a mystery. Any more over here? I think this is all of them. And yeah. We've already done that instruction. Let's move closer over here. A lot of things. It's like a lot of things to. Oh, look at all this here. Ah, yes, interesting. A multitude of the victims' handprints. Why are so many of them on the floor in this one spot? Ah, perhaps you had a bad fall just in it. There's nothing obvious that he would have tripped over, though, is there? I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over. I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes. Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor. Yeah, there's no obvious explanation. Well, we sprayed Mr. Sholmes' amazing skin print indicator all over the world, all over the room, didn't we? We did, but there are two places in particular that are of interest, I would say. Here, the handprints on the floor there, and on the wall by the picture, you mean? Suspicious. Yeah, I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment. What is it, Mrs. Sato? Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out. You mean it's a secret hiding place? Excellent work, Mrs. Sato. So what do we have in here? Oi, what are you lot doing? Inspector Gregson. Stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate there. Nuh-uh. It's our job to investigate too. Shut up, Inspector. No need, Inspector. You continue to dig into your portion of chips whilst we dig around under the floor here. Your fancy talk's pulling me up my food anyway, Sholmes. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need. Gregson. Very good. Wow, secret hiding place under the floor. What a find. It's not a hiding place you can make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw to tell me that. I know. I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there too. Aren't you curious? Oh! I'll investigate at once. There's nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall. Huh. How disappointing. Then how do you explain the handprints? I really can't think why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over in one place like that. There you are. I'll print for you. Okay. Photographic print of the handprints on the wall have entered the court record. Oh, thank you very much. This invention can make prints too. Now then. I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there. I'm desperate to know. So my I love Sholmes's sprites. I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath that floorboard there. Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. He kind of hates your guts. Inspector Gregson, really? It's been too long. What is it, Sholmes? I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there. Seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends. Yeah, he hates your guts. No, I suppose not. A dismal failure, yeah! Yes, I heard. I'd kill to know what was under that fatal floorboard. Alright then, fair's fair. What? You did discover the hiding place after all? I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you. Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know about this man, it's that he blows with the wind, as fickle as the weather. Oi, stop making me out to be some kind of nut. Debatable. There are 3 items under the floor there. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know? Newspaper clipping. Looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. It made the headlines down there in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got it first. Oh my goodness. He committed a capital offence? A man by the name of Selden. Nasty piece of work into burglaries and murder. They say the hoard he knocked off was worth about £1,000. A hoard? A treasure, you mean? Jewelry and the like. But he needed it somewhere, no one knows where. And now he's dead. Huh. The papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell. Or some such was the headline. Does it not strike you though? Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor? Yeah, bit weird. I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we've got on Soda back at the yard and see if I can turn anything up. We have, it has entered the court record. Photographic print. So, this is the photographic print I found. Looks reasonably recent to me. And that's of Gardeb. Gardeb and the young boy who they say appeared to have taken on the street in front of the house there. Didn't we have that? Something on that? Something on that boy. Something on that kid. I swear we've seen him before in this case. That's a receipt for the books. Nearby street map. Sort of envelope. Which, again, is weirdly torn off. Why would anyone tear off a letter like this? Bit weird. The teacups, we have the soap, we have the crime scene photograph. But we don't have any. I swear. Not that. No. I swear we had something on that kid beforehand. It appeared to have been taken on the street in front of the house here. And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Gardeb, the landlord, of course. Or who's the young man on the right? Mr. Gardeb's son, perhaps? Maybe? Perhaps you can take the print if you like. Really? Are you sure? You can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows that the identity of the young fellow is. Is that true? Yeah! Come on, Gregson! Tell us. Well, it's too bad if you do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. You're the worst. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out. Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work. Yeah, Gregson. All the more reason I'm not telling you. A dismal failure. Yeah, I heard. Okay, we got this. I wonder why a photograph like this is hidden under the floor. I mean, Mr. Shamsphere himself isn't in it. Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Gardner was rather delighted to have been immortalised. He probably made a proud present of it. When were cameras invented? 1816. Okay, so and in 1900, apparently in 1888, Kodak launched the first roll film hand camera, and then in 1900, Kodak introduced the popular Brownie, a classic box camera. And the first camera was used apparently in 1826 specifically. So yeah, kind of tracks up. Now, so maybe that kid is just a young Shamsphere. And he's related to the Gardabs somehow. But that's just a theory. A game theory. Now this tin box looks interesting, isn't it? My suggestion, Inspector, that you open it. Yeah. Wait. Why was Twitch being silly on my phone for a second? Why was Twitch being silly for a second? No idea. To be fair, I do need to update Twitch on my phone, I think. So, if you were to find someone inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I would have been at least surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty. What? Shamsi, give us a clue, man. We didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least we've found out what's inside the box. Yeah, thinner, it's empty. I would like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to this box then? I wonder. Huh. Oh, that's Wagahai. Oh, that's Sasaki's cat. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, look, it's a little kitty cat. What's its name? It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think I've ever asked him actually. How do we call it? Wagahai. You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese. I wonder how he got it in here. Clever cat. Oh, wonderful. Well then, Wagahai. Here's something delicious I brought for you from the cat's meat man. Oh, he's so cute. I love Wagahai. Wagahai's life. Oh, he couldn't be happier now. Look, let's hope we can bring some happiness to his owner too. No, look. Oh, he's so cute. I love him. I love him. I want to examine him. Can I examine him? Yes, I can. I can examine him. I love Wagahai. Best character. That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai. Oh, he's so cute. But he's so adorable. I could sit and watch him forever. I think you may not appreciate that for a while. I'm going to investigate to get that too. I'm going to investigate him. I'm going to examine him again. Just so I can get a screenshot. Just so I can get a screening. I'm gonna get a screening. Nothing. I'm gonna immediately input that to Canva. Just so I can, just for the thumbnail later. Because it looks like a high. I am way too obsessed with this cat. I am making this cat the thumbnail of the VOD. Instantly. I love him. I love him. Okay, let's go. I think I have to go talk to Sasaki now. So he'll be in the prison. We've got to talk to him about Wagahai. Oh, Mr. Natsume's back. So he is. Mr. Natsume. Hello. I am a cat. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Herlock Sholmes. I don't know about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruhodo is trying to escape from reality. Real. Trying to, he already has, completely. So, what's your name then? As yet, I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring it back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? I am not a cat. It worked. He's back in the real world. What's going to become of me? No. Don't answer that. It's obvious. My cursed soul is never going to escape this cursed fate. Mr. Natsume, no! This morning's proceedings in court prove that there's hope. Yes, Milcom student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but the Reaper is omnipresent in court in my lodgings. Here, there, everywhere. What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh yes, we must. Converse. In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? Now! Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me more. But if I just block those out, then today being in that courtroom was... It was the most moving experience of my life. Welcome, student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're too kind. Uh-oh, why is my stream unstable? Why is... They say my stream is unstable, which is... No bueno. No bueno. No good. Oh, bueno unstable event. Oh, that's like 5 seconds. Okay. Audio video configuration issues. It's supposed to be a storm today, isn't it? Whatever. If you want to rewatch it, you can. You want to rewatch the VOD? You can watch it on YouTube when I post it like on Tuesday. Scoliard found the remaining teeth, just like we'd deduced, and are analysing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. There won't be if I find a drop of poison in it. That's a Swan, Sasaki, certainty. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at the time, we were both completely fine, as shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspe then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. That Rom Shamspe, what have I ever done to him? I don't recall taking issue with you over anything you've done recently. I've been holed up in my room immersed in books. I don't recall anything at all. Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. Let you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the soap, of course. What else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I would have chosen to live an accursed existence in such accursed lodgings. Oh yes, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly, especially the room that I rent. The spirit of the capital offender who lived there still haunts the place and it's trying to kill me. Capital offender? May I ask, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, that the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super stuffed soaps. Okay, I think we need to present something. I'm going to present. Did you know about this? What's this? It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Ah, so he knew, did he? Finally, my thing is stable. Sorry. About this man, Selden, a convicted killer and the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings. What? He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another. A miserable mustache, much malignant Japanese man. Miss Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. Yeah, what do you know about him? The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now. And at the time he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garadab's house. What, he lived where you do now? That's right, yes, exactly where I live now, in my very room. Oh my, your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offence. But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse. What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume? It's already caused one death. A few months after the criminal passed away in prison. A man died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger, he was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from inside. Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict's curse, is it? Yes, well, that was the start of it. What do you mean the start of it? Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsume? The official cause of death was asphyxia. Asphyxia. Like the poison! The official cause of the... was it strychnine? Strychnine? Or the official... like the cause of death that causes the... like... the strychnine poison causes death by asphyxiation. So... This guy, whoever attempted to poison Shamsfair, took inspiration from Selden. I'm glad I discovered that. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Gas? I only found that out after I'd signed the lease. When Mr. Garadab came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself from trembling. How do I spell it? Strychnine. Can strychnine be a gas? Be a gas. I spell strychnine. It's a white, odorless, bitter crystalline powder that can be taken by the mouth, inhaled, or mixed in a solution and given intravenously, injected in. It's a strong poison, obviously. Let me have a look. How you could be exposed to strychnine. Following the release of strychnine in water, you could be drinking contaminated water, contaminated food, through membranes of the nose, eyes, or mouth. For example, a person could be poisoned by inhaling strychnine powder that had been released in the air. It could be smoked or intravenously or through the nose. So it could have been the gas. It could have been the gas. It could have been like strychnine in like gas. It could have been strychnine in gas easily. When Mr. Gardner came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself from trembling. In fact, if I'd known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease, luckily legal. Luckily for Mr. Gardner, maybe. But not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. And now you believe this curse is affecting you? It is. At first, I just felt as though I was being watched all the time. You talked about having nightmares, didn't you? The dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me and try to suffocate me. What if? I have to look up. What are? Okay, this is from the CDC. Symptoms, immediate signs or symptoms of strychnine exposure: agitation, from low or moderate doses, agitation, apprehension or fear, ability to be easily startled, restlessness, uncontrollable aching, arching of the neck and back, rigid arms and legs, jaw tightness, muscle pain, and soreness, difficulty breathing, initial consciousness and awareness of symptoms, which I feel like a lot of these symptoms could be applied to Seki. Was he like a victim of this poisoning, of strychnine poisoning as well? Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up and the room is as cold as ice. But why is your room so cold? London winters are too cold to bear without any heating on overnight, but for some reason, even though I light a stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. Again, strychnine. He could be experiencing like mild strychnine poisoning. But that's terrible. That's exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shamspeare last night when he was mysteriously poisoned. What if Gardab? What if it was Gardab? What if Gardab was attempting to kill? Like, what if Gardab, either intentionally or unintentionally, probably intentionally, is trying to kill his tenants? There's clearly more to that incident than can be explained by the curse, though. What can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Gardab's rooms? Okay, I think that's everything. So, okay, I want to talk to Gardab. You're here now, Mr. Gardab. Oh, what if it's the new juror? Because I cannot remember her name. What's her name? I know she's in here somewhere. Her, Queen Bee Ultimate. She's the wife of the the owner of the Ultimate Gas Company. It could very well be her, or him, or Meter Man. There's so many people that could have very much likely like put the strychnine in the gas system. So it could be Shamspeare trying to, kill Soseki or Gardab, and accidentally poisoning himself. Gardab trying to kill his tenants. Ultimate, don't know why. Beatman, again, don't know why. Again, it's probably not Soseki. I head now, Mr. Gardab. Right, valid business, is it? It is. So me, getting out about. Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance? Naturally, fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance and all that. There are trials, miss. The fates of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes. Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such. Ah, well at least he knows. Makes you wonder what the blazes is going on, don't you? Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsume's other trial just 2 days ago, you were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened. Stopped off at the prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business. I see. So, what brings you to my haunted abode today, eh? Converse. Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse. A convict's curse, you mean? Ah, heard the stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here, then the next chap in the room goes and keels over. Then there was that woman who dropped dead just outside on the street, not to mention the actor late yesterday. Am I right, eh? Well, can't help but get the collywobbles, can you? When you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green, who was stabbed by that knife, and Mrs. Shamster, who was poisoned last night, both very much alive still. Yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems. Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, and a fascinating history. Why? It sounds like they're lap of luxury. I'm not so sure about that. Hell, look, don't you go and try and inject and put strychnine poison in the heating. Well, there's no bath or toilet included, and no fireplace either, but you do look out for your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here. Yeah, never hurts to keep an eye on things, in case there are any mishaps or such like. I think you've had your mishap already, sir. That's not helpful, Mr. Sholmes. Heaven forgive me, the words just came to my lips. Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character. There's no need for that, Mr. Gardab. That's right. Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy. He is undeniably peculiar, however. Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away? Yeah, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone and he popped up the very same day. Never come across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were. A background? I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on so much as the cheap rent, actually. So, how long has Mr. Shamster been lodging under your roof? That failed actor chap? Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it. Only 3 months? He's quite new here too, then. And to what do you owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Gardab, if I might ask? Well, it was that Selden scoundrel as it happens. Selden? The convict, you mean? Do Selden and Shamster have some kind of connection then? Huh. Maybe. That convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now, you see. Some malaria or other. Yes, I'm seeing the report from the newspaper at the time. Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedian showed his face. The actor fellow. Really? Yeah, I remember it quite distinctly. 'Tis small, this world we inhabit. Prithee, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamster, do desire to take that room on the middle floor offered a while for rent. Terribly sorry and whatnot, but that won't be possible. I already have a lodger on the middle floor. Ground floor is vacant. The ground floor room is vacant though. Nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat mine on the will until these. Those curls must be muffling your ears. The room on the middle floor is taken. It's ground floor or nothing. Very well. We have an accord. Glad to hear it. Welcome to Briar Road. Lower ship space. That's to celebrate. Okay. From what I heard in court today, sounds like the chap was thieving gas. And he was 3 months in arrears with the red too. Yeah, the fellow was a bally player, alright. Why not just kick him out? Thank you for your candor, Mr. Garrett. We are most grateful. By the way, by way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe, put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me. What's happening to you? What's happened to you? Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have time for literature too, you know. Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then? I want to ask him about this. Who's that kid? Mr. Garda, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there? No. It was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name. Duncan Ross. A street photographer happened to be in passing, so I asked him to take a shot. Just for kicks, really. Was he by any chance the lodger before Mr. Natsume? Yeah, that's right. The young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say. Yeah, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before that Japanese chap. Would you mind telling us a little more about it? Yeah, the lodger's death. Yeah, Duncan Ross, young chap was attending art school, had to work to pay for it mine. Moved into the middle floor room about a year ago after that criminal Selden was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them. A history of cheap rent, maybe, yes. Yes, well, anyway. It was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas labs to see what my lodgers are up to at the time. So sadly, I was rather tardy to discover what happened. The smell of gas that alerted me it was. Ah yeah, synonymous with the smell of death. Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. But once we got inside, we all badly collapsed because of the gas. Thank you, Jessica Scott 07 for the follow. Welcome on in. How are you doing? Yeah, room was full of it. No at all. Stove must have gone out while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed. Hello, welcome on in. So Mr. Ross was suffocated to death. How you doing, Jessica? How you doing? Of course, the police gave me a sound. How's it going? It's going pretty good. Going pretty good. How you doing? Of course, the police gave me a sound ticking off because the gas pipes were so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it sets me back to have the lot replaced all over the house. But even after you had all that work done, Mr. Natsume says the same thing. That the stove goes out at night while he's asleep in bed. Well, that's the bally curse, the convict's curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now. Someone's feeling defensive. Just a little. That reminds me actually. Yeah? About young Duncan, the night before the poor chap perished. He'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady. A love letter, you mean? Yeah, where did I put it now? There it is. Left it on my desk. If you'll excuse me, let me see now. What does it say? To a most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Do you think that we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence? My dear Mrs. Sato, this is precisely why I prefaced my reading with, if you'll excuse me. Oh, not, excuse me, Mr. Sholmes? No. Sadly, he didn't address it though, so I have no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really. So I see. That's going to play on my mind. But really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no bearing on the case. I think we should leave well alone. Yes, I suppose you're right. Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing. However, there's a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Mr. Sholmes, please, I've already had to chastise you about this once. My undying love to you, my colourful darling, Olive Green. Olive? Olive Green? The woman who was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside of this house 5 days ago. The victim of the last case Suseki-san was in court for, who regained consciousness only yesterday. Do you stream regularly? Pretty regularly. Most of the time I stream Fridays and Sundays. But now that it's summer, I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays. 4 times a week. Is it just the chance that her name has come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence? Mr. Naruhodo, whatever can this mean? Reading personnel correspondence can have its merits, you see, Mrs. Sato. Is that everything? I think that's everything. So, Miss Green. Let's go talk to Miss Green. There's a rat there. There's a mouse. There's a mouse there. Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last. This is good news, but hopefully just before she leaves... Ah! What is it? Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. One moment. I'll be with you in a jiffy. Huh. Oh, hello everyone. What are y'all doing here? The doctor had said I could be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together. Miss Green, what were you just doing? Oh, nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, that's all. Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you, if that's alright. I don't really have anything else to tell you. Alright? She's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can't coax something out of her. But first, for the achievement. Boom. This is the bottle that my screen was just about to drink from when we arrived. Yeah, she looked rather preoccupied, didn't she? Perhaps it's very bitter. I can't stand bitter medicine. I suppose that could be it. In fact, whenever the doctor prescribes me medicine for a number of days, I always take it at once. Oh no. Well, if you have to take something you don't like, it's better to get it all out of the way in one go, isn't it? Oh dear. And I thought it was Miss Green I should be worrying about at the moment. Oh, we got the achievement. And that is a cute little mouse that I adore. It's wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green. Oh yes, I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering in a wasted space. Not people like me anyway. So I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. I probably shouldn't stand around and chat. So which games do you like to usually play? Well, right now I've been playing a lot of Ace Attorney since August. I finished the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy back in January, and ever since like the start of February, like end of January, start of February, I've been playing the Apollo Justice trilogy and the Ace Attorney Chronicles, been streaming a bunch of Minecraft and The Sims, and yeah, a bunch of a lot of sticky business. Um, recently I've been playing a lot of Stardew. Recently, like off stream, I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley for the past 2 months. I've only had the game for like 2 months, and yeah, I have like how many hours do I have in Stardew Valley? I know it's a lot. 115.4 hours. That's a lot. That's a lot. I've been playing Lethal Company and Phasmo on occasion. I also love Graveyard Keeper. I've been playing that a lot. I've played that I did play that decently regularly in my free time, as well as The Sims 3. Love, absolutely love those. Do I know what I'm doing in Graveyard Keeper? No, but I somehow progress. So yeah. Oh yeah, Lethal Company. This is an amazing game. Lethal Company is great. Lethal Company is probably one of those games where, just like Phasmo as well, that I don't play often, but playing with friends is like the best way to play it. And so I'm probably gonna try and play more Lethal and Phasmo over the summer with friends now that it's like, summer. So do you have any favorite games to play? Well, the main games probably the Ace Attorney games are probably some of my favorite games to play. I've started to find my love of like visual novels through Ace Attorney. Visual novels. I love visual novels. I need to play DDLC because I got that on Epic when that was free, so I need to download it and play it at some point. And plus it's DDLC plus, so I don't have to go actually rooting for my files and actually fucking sum it up. Probably my favourite games to play at the moment would be like Ace Attorney, Minecraft and Sims, Stardew. Probably Sticky Business as well. It's like Minecraft, Sims. I'm gonna kind of count both Sims into that second point. That I have Sims 3 and 4. Stardew and yeah. Minecraft, Ace Attorney, Stardew, Sims. Those are probably the main games I've been playing a lot of, and probably some of my favourite games. Oh yeah, that's good. It is. I love Stardew. I love Minecraft. I love a lot of games, honestly. She certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure. How will we present the photograph? Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross. You knew him, didn't you? Huh. Oh no, I'm sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did. Oh, Miss Green, are you alright? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that. No, it's alright. I just wasn't expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan? Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan. A year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. So you stream on any other platforms? I've dabbled in Instagram streaming. Every so often. I haven't streamed on Instagram in ages. I don't stream on YouTube. I want to apply for the TikTok like the live creator thing, whatever it's called, to be able to stream on TikTok, because I want to be able to stream on TikTok like every so often. And I kind of heard like a rumor that like you don't like need 1,000 followers. Like if you have like maybe closer to 1,000 followers, like you can maybe apply. You just have to apply. So I could maybe try and apply for it, maybe, because I have like, how many followers do I have on TikTok? On my main account anyways. I dabbled in Twitter Spaces a while ago. I have 656 followers. So maybe I could try and apply for it, but I doubt I'll get it until I hit closer to 1,000. So yeah, dabbled in Instagram streaming like every so often. I don't do as much as I used to though. And I have dabbled in Twitter Spaces a little while ago, but I haven't done one in a while. So yeah. And the two of you became romantically involved. Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why he decided to move into a cheaper room to save money for the wedding. And that's what led him to Mr. Gardab's. Yes, he told me he'd found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened. We're so terribly sorry, Miss Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green. She looks desperately sad. I was starting to think that was just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon. Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our way. Mr. Naruhodo. What is it, Sholmes? Surely we're not about to leave. That's quite out of the question. What, Mr. Sholmes? I didn't realize you're here. Well, of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching intently from the shadows, as always. Well, make your presence known next time, Mr. Sholmes. What's this about? Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Mrs. Sato. Is this? Why do detectives insist on such an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it happened instead of preventing a case before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart. What do you mean? There is a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening with nothing but careful observation. Alright, all the clues you need are set before you. You need only looks, and you cannot fail to see. You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. I know you can. Okay, so examine. This. It definitely feels as though this card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand, in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere. Yes, it may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Sholmes believes was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it. Oh no, the rat's dead! The rat's dead! That mouse seems to be dead, that mouse. Look, I didn't notice it dead before, did you? I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out of the bowl. But that Miss Green was about to drink from when it arrived. Add in 5 minutes, guys. Add in 5 minutes. You don't think... I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of tragedy about to take place. Yes, I think it's fallen into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilled out onto the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Don't worry, I will attend to the mouse presently. The mouse is now gone. Miss Green, were you intended to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life? Once we'd left. If you say, can I help you with some stuff? No thanks. No thanks. I don't really need help with streaming stuff at the moment. You would have put it on your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison? No. Miss Green, please talk to us. Yeah, talk to us. Converse. 10 seconds later, and we would have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted. Tell me, how do you acquire that medicine? Well, with this being the hospital and all, when the doctor came to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking. It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains. I'm afraid I don't really know, but I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow. Oh please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things. Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison. But that poor little mouse is proof of that. Oh no, it's all my fault. What have I done? I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection? No, none. I have a new idea for your channel if you allow me to share with you. No thanks. No thanks. I'm not really interested in help with streaming stuff at the moment. Neither the sender's name or address appears to be written on the envelope of the card. Wait, where's the other piece of that envelope? Where's the other piece of the envelope? Here. And it's Fanny Shamsford's room. It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in the hospital here. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 PM on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Wait a minute, the 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road. And 5 PM is precisely the time when the incident occurred. The Slug and Salad, yes. A pub on the northern corner of Briar Road. Briar Road being the street that Mr. Gardepp's house is on. Does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day when I was struck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad. Goodness. So that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day. I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything. Yes, I'm very sorry to have had to drag up such painful memories for you. And it's starting soon, everyone. No, it's fine. Miss Green. Please, promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has the ball now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. I might sound a little conceited, but well, that's how all this has made me feel. Leaving Miss Green and St. Bartholomew's behind, they made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigative trail for today. Yes, it's late. Ad is in progress. Woo woo woo! I need a stretch. God, I always need a stretch. You don't want to move your arms too much when you're playing Ace Attorney. Maybe I should see if we have a controller, but also I don't have that many USB ports in like the front bit of my computer. At least I know all my ports are taken up by, you know, headphones, mic, webcam, LEDs, so yeah. Maybe I need to get like a USB extender, so maybe if one such thing exists, but you know. Hello, welcome back everybody. Everyone should be back from the ad right about now. Hello. Yes, it's late. And Mr. Naruhodo, did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shamspeare, Mr. Garadab's lodgings, the convict Selden. There are many facets to this case and we're yet to see to the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling anyway. I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis into Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean? Can I DM you on Twitter on /X? Not really, I don't really read Twitter DMs. Yeah, will they have found strychnine in it or not? Well, I fear that either way, it'll be hard to escape the grip of our friend Mr. Reaper. Oh dear. Yes, Baruch upon Zeeks. But I wish you every success, of course. And though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend this trial. I followed you on Twitter, kindly follow me back. Not really. I also had to follow back viewers. Sorry about that. Mr. Sholmes is going to come? Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there, assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's cause until the very end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely will lurk. So Seki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here. If you follow me back, I'll be able to share some samples and buy. No thanks. I'm not willing to buy anything off anyone. And I don't really follow back from viewers. And so I felt honor bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn. For all of us. To be continued. We're continuing on to the trial. We're back at the Old Bailey. Bit close, mate. This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that's been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything. And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you. I always appreciate your help, Mr. Sato. Suffering Sasaki selfishly sidelined. Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Good morning, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Listen to you two, chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here. Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you. I was waiting. What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, that's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. Also, like, that's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. I've missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow, you'll have to forgive me. I and you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume. That should be just an example. Oh yes, there it is, in a calm. You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you'd abandon me and return to our beautiful, long-lost homeland. We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet. Yes, well, anyway. I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh, what sort of deal? I shall fill you in after the trial. Alright. It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits. It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again. The great detective? My arch nemesis. Long may he stay away, if you ask me. Defendant and your legal representative. The trial is about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Sasaki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client and keep fighting to the very end, that's all. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defence to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. We're just turning my music up there. Yes, the defence is ready. Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mark my words. I feel obliged to say, I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right. Oh, well, I wonder if you could adjust my hat for me. Please, be as ruthless as you like. Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me. Especially that gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all. Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this, I've got my own problems. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today. Now, Lord Van Zeeks, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court in relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea. So he does have the results. Yeah, come on, tell us, Zeeks. Come on, tell us, Van Zeeks. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the black guard in the dock. Pray, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in a little depression on the top. Yes, that's the tea. That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him in that night. Well, the brains of the yard analysed it, and yes, you're right, it was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it. No poison at all. In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. What revelation! So this further proves Sasaki's innocence, is what you're saying, Inspector. As I suspected, this makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Sasaki Natsume, is innocent. My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Japanese reaction. What? Yes, it's true no poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty? My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel. unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise words from the lips of Mr. William Shimsbury, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request. Mr. Shamsbury. Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend. Bailiff. Mr. Shamsbury to the stand. Mr. William Shamsbury, the victim of this despicable crime. Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamsbury, did have a belly full of foul fluid given, in my innocence. Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. Once they smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamsbury, did have a roomful of the sweet fuel given. That's right. Well, jurors, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. I haven't forgotten, kept all that about the ice coins a tidy secret, didn't you? You should have owned up sooner. Arrest him, I say, arrest him at once, and let him feel a sting in my tail. Oh, indeed. By dint of violent cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends, I confess. Thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I'm sure. As you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their death, and for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. But would it that be still greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east, and then Verona did contrive to poison me. But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will be quickly cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamsbury? Verily, my liege, I must clearly speak. Very well. Let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why is it that that poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. The tea inconsistency. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison, whilst feigning destruction in an debate. Near they drop of his own drink past his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus, 'tis no surprise that poison be not found in the tea that I did pour into the molds of soap. The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience. Quite. Otherwise, it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Japanese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. Ugh, I knew that. By now, it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamsbury, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Wherefore would I lie? Verily I have no cause, I have naught to lose. Yeah, well, I do declare. Those two jurors are easily convinced. Juror 2 and Juror 3, easily convinced. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel proceeded with cross-examination. But I bet juror number 4 Yeah, journal number 4. But it's not as easily convinced. As well just journal number 5. I feel like he's not as easily convinced as well. Yes, my lord. Cross-examination time. Options. Save. Let me see. No. This is Mr. Natsume's. Oh, what's that? This must be the cup that Mr. Shamsu was drinking from then. It's stained on the inside. Tea does that, I'm afraid. Even green tea. Oh, really? I've never noticed before. You never noticed? Well, I've never leaving the cup long enough to leave a mark. I like to gulp it down. Drink tea while it's hot, that's the Japanese way, isn't it? Oh dear, so many people seem to have the wrong idea about our culture. And most of them are Japanese! Huh. Well, if we look at Saseki's cup, this is the teacup from which Mr. Natsume was drinking. Yeah, unlike the other one, the inside of this cup is completely clean. I suppose he must have drunk the contents before the tea had a chance to leave a mark. I was gulp it down too. Sorry, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, if it's just slip it little by little, it goes cold. Clearly, I shall have to instruct you in the proper way to take tea. That's excellent. You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question. But that's impossible. How? Chop logic. What is this, you dark, eclad fiend? The two teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof. I thought we had 2 cross-examinations this trial, but we only have 1. So, yeah. Have a clear difference between them. This game loves the word incontrovertible. Ace Attorney loves the word incontrovertible. Incontrovertible? What difference? Look at the insides of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while. And yet Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean. And prithee, sir, what mixed out are you of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume took the quote yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted, drink tea. Well, it's hot. That's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. It has you claim in your testimony he didn't touch a drop of his tea. A ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamsby, you clearly lied to the core. Get to a nunnery is no. Why would he go to a nunnery? As a rule, I fill my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during one trial. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamsby. Yes, my liege. Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? Our thoughts had vanished from your memory until now. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. For verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes at night. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, although when I looked, 'twas empty, and thus did I use the drugs that vested in the teapot as my liege did suggest. And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that? Really, people's memories are imperfect, my lad friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only, and secondly, that this spilt cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this whore. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words, the inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No. What does this mean then? I do declare it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony. Apart from the bit about the thieving gas, obviously. My lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I dined at Grubb's Grubbery Ale House that night, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given by the Japanese who Backby stooped as low as death. And what did you dine, sir? Backby stooped as... Another sign of strychnine poisoning. Bad blood is... Whatever did you say? What did you say? He Backby stooped as low as death. Another sign of strychnine poisoning from what I looked on the CDC website. Interesting. Well, I did partake of my favourites, a broth as would be called soup, and a leaf that as would be called salad. Super salad. As ill salubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But I pray you wise and noble fellows ne'er forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamsby doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Foreman, Mr. Foreman. I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. Oi! By me? I do declare you may be right. We all know the waif that was making coins to keep himself warm. But this lawyer lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison in. No. He's been leading us up the garden path, that's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that. But what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. Sure, yeah. The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's finding. Foreman, his name is Foreman. What? No, you can't. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty.
Summation examination time. I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord. How happy day! How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well. The court upholds sneaky fences right. Typical. Online friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. Shut up, Francis. This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. During the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime in which he is charged. I'm gonna logic me, and having considered all the evidence, not all the evidence, we still have evidence, the defendant must be logically guilty. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal gases. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. If nothing else passes the victim's lips at night, there's no other explanation, is there? Huh. The gas is the other explanation. I do feel that perhaps personal opinions about the gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. Yeah. But never mind. No, you really should mind. The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we hoped. Mr. Shamsay was poisoned, there can be no doubt of that. Then how are we supposed to turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamsay was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. The Ace Attorney looks incontrovertible, or some form of the word. But that's surely almost impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it though, Mr. Natsume will be found guilty. No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. Jury examination. Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here in the case, if you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. Huh. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I done? I think. She's really busy now. All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious? Maybe, madam. Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square. Indeed. Nobody is questioning that Madam Ultimate is an exemplary gas company. But there are others, unscrupulous gas companies here in London who don't even have any gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that. They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible? Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own wrong pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft. When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies have fallen into its tricks. Ha! What?
Excuse me.
Excuse me? you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry, I was just thinking to myself. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yeah. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see. Go on. An ultimate gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So let him in. And do you know what he did? I'm afraid I have no idea. Please, tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall, and he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there. Oh, please, everybody knows. But it was very nearly the death of me, I couldn't tell you. What do you mean? I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe networks. Huh. Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily, and if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment. Ah, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes. Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean... That's right, the lights didn't just flicker, they went out along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house. What a disaster! The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all? I said. So by disconnecting the lamp and blowing it into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. Huh. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps. Yes. This is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh well, if you like, I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our company secret method of... I don't know what I said. Like I said, man, it's widely known already. Very well, juror number 3, you amend your statement accordingly. What did she say? Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all this really is. What did she say? Juror number 3, defense. Let's see. The defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, if you like, I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our complete secret method of identifying the rogues that try to diddle us. What did juror number 6 say again? If nothing else past the victim's lips that night. There's no other explanation, is there? There is, though. Blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house, and then you're in real trouble. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious, to whose statements do you refer, counsel? Juror number 6. Did you hear what juror number 3 just said? What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or another. Something or other? There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a matter of speaking, past the lips of victim's lips on the night in question. What? What explanation? I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the walnut light at the scene? I was onto something earlier. To see if there were any traces of the poison there. I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time. But the mouth of a gas pipe? Scotland Yard doesn't have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. What a piece of work is a man. What are you trying to say, Mr. Shakespeare? What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? that is what I say to Lisa. I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body. Good lord. Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying? Or is the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas? Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him. For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes. This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friend's conjecture. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say. It's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of that lamp on the wall. I have evidence to prove it. Alright, you've got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. So would I. Let's see this evidence then. Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare stood in front of the gas lamp. I think, if I think so, right? Yeah, look, there's the lamp. There's the lamp right there. I knew, in my head earlier, I was like, okay, does it have something to do with the lamp? Does it have to do with that thing about the painting then? When Psssttt was like, oh, there's nothing behind the wall. Okay, does it have something to do with the gas lamp? That was in my head. So, I didn't say it, but you know. Why these are, wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene. Skin Prints Council, I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints in court as evidence in courts, however. My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It reveals all of the places that Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, innit? Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure. I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Films was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here, around the hanging picture there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible. Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork perhaps? At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you'll find yourself directly in front of, I don't believe it. The gas lamp. Though the reason why it isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspeare has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp. Right, what have you been up to, you know? I'd asked the court to recall Jury number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I say? He said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now if you recall Jury number 3's statement, what, me, now? When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights and the gas stove to go out and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, if Mr. Shamspeare were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Crikey! Are you suggesting that the man purposefully caused the gas to... information is required to remain silent during a summation examination. I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zeeks? This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints, clearly that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case. But it's an exciting new forensic techniques developed by a great detective. She is probably going to vote not guilty now. It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time in his hands. Ugh. Don't slander her luck like that. Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence. But, please, my lord, if I may, Mr. Sato, it is not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Thank you, Susato! And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. Juror number 3. Oh yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what that shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints. 2 not guilty, 4 guilty. We're getting there. What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy. Well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise. No, wait, you heard his lordship. It's not fair dinkum evidence. 3 not guilty, 3 guilty. 3 for 3. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue. Thank you, Mrs. Sato, but I couldn't have done it without you. Oh no, it was you who identified the clue. After all, this is very much your success. Why, Mr. Shamsbury, you seem to be losing your composure. Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it. Very well. Continue, counsel. Am I legitimate and having considered all the evidence? Oh. All the evidence, you say? That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointed at that Japanese man with the big mustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache, yeah! But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that? What, your so-called skin prints? It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself. The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamsbury had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe in the night in question, it can't be denied that there was a possibility that's where the poison was. Well, yes, I won't deny that it's plain on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides, yes, even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he's got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Oh. If you can't make up your case better, you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance. You do make a very valid point, sir. What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty. No, wait. Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is, just leave our nationality out of this, please. Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors that changed their minds before may very well change them back. What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamsbury really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question? It's point testimony. No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it. What's that? Testimony? This is incredible. Whose testimony? Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the Gada residence that night, namely Psssttt.
Take that!
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Psssttt Natsume himself. The defendant? At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings, there's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. Even on that fateful night it happened, when I returned to Mr. Shamsberg's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out and somebody tried to kill me. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out, so I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not? Good golly. So that Shamsberg fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose? Now hold your horses there. What did he do that for? Mr. Foreman, what is it, man? We cannot allow judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic first and foremost. Whoa! My voice is going. My voice is going, man. As 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord, we've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now call guilty, 4 now call not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of the land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shamsberg. My lord, how can thy humble Shamsberg serve thee? What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination? So God mend me, I do solemnly swear I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe. But your handprints have made a tiny mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that? I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5, you and me. As I went to some pains to point out already, a prince with a self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law. Oh, fuck off, man. As such, whether or not the man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains at this time unestablished conjecture. You would do all well to remember that.
Objection!
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the lamp in Mr. Shamsberg's room to be examined. If there are any traces of poison there, what appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in tea, some remnants of tea were required. Yes. Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. Yeah, I didn't think of that. In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you described. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipework where he lived? There's only one possibility that I can think of, and that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. Order, counsel. Precisely whose life do you propose this man was wanting to end? The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we've unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Shamsway wanted to end the life of Psssttt.
That!
If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I live on those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time. Mr. Gareth, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamsway was trying to end. Outrageous. I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder. Good gracious.
Objection!
What? The accused is actually the aggrieved? Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. What? How can you still claim that? Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison in the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his attempt to kill. Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison? So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamsway's murderous designs? Huh. Are you going to suggest? Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known. What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Sasaki Natsume. Whatever Mr. William Shamsway may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could have possibly have perpetrated that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nepalese friend? Ah. Adding 5 minutes, guys. Adding 5 minutes. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage. What advantage? Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mrs. Shamsway's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt. You may name the true culprit. I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all. As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, is all pointing to a particular person now. Who's the only person who we know has poison? Olive Green. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What? Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly what. There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit? A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nepalese friend. Talk about her luck? But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already. I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. Thank you. Tell us, my Lord Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is this so-called true culprit of the crime? I'm gonna say Olive.
Take that!
The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mrs. Shamsbury is, I believe, Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Council, but I don't recall where. Miss Olive Green? The woman from 6 days ago. The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road, an incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hastened to add. Of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe. But I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. And I hardly need to remind the court that Mrs. Shamsbury's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in the hospital unconscious. So on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't be responsible, but still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in the hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison. Good gracious, she had poison? And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court. Tell me, Mr. Shamsbury. My lord, pray, what be thy biding? Are you acquainted with Miss Green? No, never heard of her. Judging by the look of Mrs. Shamsbury's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her, at least not by name. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my Lord Nipponese friends far through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Yes, Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord, 1 hour should be sufficient. Very well, I grant the request. Excellent, I hope. The defense has made its most extraordinary accusation, I must say, but at the present time, I feel the prosecution's arguments remain largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned. To be continued. Save. This is such a perfect time for the end to start soon. This hurts. I'm quite tired, so I might end stream here. After the ad, of course. After the ad, so I have a little bit more time to ramble on. I'll check how long the thing is. With 2 cross-examinations, it might take us a while to ramble through it. Hurry up, lad. Hurry up. Hurry up. Please decide to take slow to roll out. There we go, there we go. There's no achievement I missed for this case. Out for erroneously answering Mr. Shum's question about who had something that belonged to the convict. Okay. I can get that one. I can get that one easily. I'm just looking through this one through the strategy wiki. I think I might do this part tomorrow. Should I shoot twice tomorrow? Maybe I don't know. I don't know. We'll wait for people to get back from the ad. It's only a couple of more seconds. Alright chat. Okay. So I think I'm gonna do this last part. I didn't mean to click that. Not that. Wrong thing. Options. That's back to title. Yes. Save it there. Well, it's like one of the first lines in dialogue. Yeah, I'm gonna end stream here. I'm gonna continue the last part of this case tomorrow. I am undecided whether I'm gonna stream twice tomorrow or not. Probably not. I'm probably just gonna stream once. But what I might do is finish, depending if it only takes us like an hour and a half, if it takes us like less than 2 hours to get this part of the trial done, then what I may do is stream Oswald right after finishing the case and just show you guys my iron farm, just do a little bit of just maybe start building around the iron farm, because I just don't want it to look kind of shit. So yeah, I'm gonna go find someone to raid after I look at this Discord ping. There we go. Who's live? Who else is live? Let me have a look. Ollie's live. We can raid Ollie. We're gonna raid Ollie. Wait until this ad is finished. Raid time. So I should be finished in a minute. I'll put in the raid command. Why not? There we go. Hope you've enjoyed this stream, and I shall see you guys tomorrow. On my socials have their respective commands. I should be in the panels down below. And yeah, I shall see you guys tomorrow for completing this case. Bye.